Hi, I'm Diane Dayton, backstage at Berks, catching up with artists scheduled at the 34th annual Berks Jazz Fest. Find out about their shows and what's going on in their lives. And if you like this cast, please share it. Thanks for joining me. I am now with Eric Darius, and boy, you are energy plus when you're on stage and actually your whole life, right? I mean, you're just going, 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 right?
Non-stop, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
Absolutely. Well, we get to see you because of that, because you're touring, and one of the places you're going to be is with us at Berks Jazz Fest. It's the
Yes.
34th annual Berks Jazz Fest. You're doing a few things there. The first thing I believe is the Chuck Loeb Memorial All-Star Jam.
Yes.
Yeah, and
So
that's that
excited about
Thursday,
that.
April 10th. Tell me about that.
Chuck Loeb was truly a legend, somebody who touched so many people's lives. And I know for me personally, he was a truly special human being, not just talented, but just probably one of the most down-to-earth people. And when I first met Chuck, I was probably about 17 years old, and he was just so encouraging, so inviting. And it just so happens that we were both Sagittariuses. I think our birthdays were just like 2, 3 days apart.
Oh, wow.
But we just always connected on so many different musical levels, and he was like that big brother to me. So when he passed, it was heartbreaking and devastating for the whole community. But I was so thrilled when Berks started doing a tribute to Chuck Loeb, the Jam, and it brings so many incredible artists all together just to celebrate the life and legacy of just an incredible human being.
Yeah, and that is a wonderful show. And it's one of those things that it kind of gets created the day of.
Yes.
And then the night of.
But
And
that's the magic about it,
yeah,
it's just so in the moment.
yeah,
And, it just always turns out to be something so special. I feel like the more that we plan it, it goes in a different direction. But when we just let it naturally flow, we have so many creative minds coming
yeah.
together with the spirit of Chuck in the center of it all. It just turns into a magical night.
Yeah, and it really does, doesn't it? And I love the different artists that are going to be there. It's every year it's different, and you
It
just don't
is.
know. So you kind of have to come and experience it.
Absolutely.
The next day is a wonderful tribute to the amazing David Sanborn.
Yes.
And you're a part of that. That is actually on Friday. It's April 11th at 6 p.m. at the Scottish Rite. That's going to be magical, isn't it?
It is. And, similar to Chuck, David was somebody who truly touched everybody's lives. I think he was the soundtrack to everybody's life, musically. He was one of the true forefront artists that really created this format that we now call smooth contemporary jazz. And I know for me personally, I would not be playing my instrument today if it weren't for him. He was somebody who truly influenced me in so many different ways. I had the first opportunity to meet him when I was 16, and he was just one of the most down-to-earth people. And he was truly someone that I wanted to be when I grew up. And I told him
Mm.
that.
Yeah.
And he's like, kid, I'm really flattered, but the world doesn't need another David Sanborn. We need you. We need you. You need to find your voice, your style, and you're going to be special if you just stay focused on that path. And that changed my life, changed my whole perception on just music and approach and just trying to find my own way. But David was really at the forefront of all of that for me personally. And I'm really honored to be able to come together with so many great friends, Marcus Miller, Eric Marienthal, Kirk Whalum, and so many others just to celebrate the life and legacy of Sanborn.
Well, that was great words of wisdom coming from David, wasn't it? Boy, that touched your heart and soul, didn't it?
It did, and it changed my life. It really did because, up until that point, 16, 17 years old, I wanted to sound like David Sanborn.
Mhm.
I'd study his music, I'd try to find mouthpieces that sounded like his. And so I was just focusing on trying to be another David Sanborn, and he set me on a completely different path, which really shaped me as a musician and who I am today.
Thank you, David. Yeah,
Thank you, David.
that's great. Hey, then that night, you get to do something that's a lot of fun. You get to jam again. So that's
Yes.
wonderful 11:30 unscripted jazz jams with Gerald Veasley. Tell me
And
about that
nobody
one.
nobody does the late night jams like Gerald Beasley. I mean, Gerald is so fun, one of the most talented people that I know. He
Mhm.
brings so many guys together, and it's just a very spur of the moment, impromptu, old school jam. And it's refreshing for me because everything is so unscripted. Whatever happens in that moment, it's never planned, but it's always something that's just magical. And it's one of my favorite parts of doing Berks is doing Gerald's jam because it's always just you never know what to expect.
Yeah, and I think the audience loves that too. So that's always a good time for them too. So your most recent album is Unleashed,
Yes,
and that's on your label. That's the second album on your label, right?
it is.
And I think with that one, you were trying to get out of your comfort zone. Is that right?
Yeah, for me as an artist, I'm always trying to stretch myself musically, artistically, and try different things. I want to keep growing and developing as an artist. So musically, I wanted to go somewhere I'd never gone before. So this is album number 8. So I was thinking, what can I do that I haven't done before? So for the first time ever, I got into the studio with the full band live. We recorded 10 songs in 2 days in the studio together. And in most cases with technology, everybody records music, they send the files, then you put it all together, then you get, a beautiful body of work. But I wanted to do it like they did back in the day when all
Yeah.
of the musicians were in the studio together. Because there's something to be said about the albums that were created back then and just the energy and the feeling that you got. And there's no way to duplicate that unless everybody's in the studio together, live in real time, playing together and just capturing that magic of just interacting live. That's what makes this album completely different.
It's being in that same space at that same moment, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
Wow. Wow. Well,
And
you're
that's
on.
and
Go ahead.
sorry.
No, go
And
ahead.
that's what makes the whole live experience so different than what you hear on an album because it's so in the moment. We're reacting to the audience, we're reacting to each other on stage, but it's hard to capture that in a studio recording. So I think you kind of get the live feel with this album because we're all literally recording and playing the music together.
There are some interesting nuances and things that go on. Well, with that in mind, you are working on new music. So,
Yes.
what direction is this going to be in?
I'm not sure. We literally just started working on it. So song number 1 is pretty much finished. That's getting mixed, and that's probably going to be going to radio pretty soon. But that's going to be the foundation of where this album goes. And honestly, I'm not sure. With every album, I approach it like a blank canvas. Like I don't have a preconceived idea of what I want the music to sound like. It just naturally evolves. And as I'm in the studio, as I'm writing, as I'm working with different musicians and producers, the music just naturally just it just I don't know, it's a very organic type of process. So we'll see.
Yeah.
That's the exciting part about making music because it just naturally evolves as we're working on it. We're just now starting to scratch the surface with this album, so I'm excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, and we are too. Well, you are going to be all over the place because you are touring, and I know you're going to be in London before you come see us at Berks, right?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
So, what else are you doing?
We're on tour all year long. We're doing a lot of international things as well this year, which is one of the exciting things for me is just continuing to expand and broaden the horizons, reach new audiences.
Mhm.
And, one of the great things about performing in Europe, which we've been doing quite a bit the past few years, is it's tapping into a whole different audience and demographic. There's a lot of younger people that are
Mm.
now starting to find out about this genre, and it's now starting to grow. We're doing tours in Italy and Europe. I'm hosting a river cruise in Amsterdam in September. And it's just so exciting just to see the music continuing to grow and new
Wow.
people starting to find out about this music.
Oh, well, keep on keeping on with that, Eric. Absolutely. So,
Absolutely.
are we going to see your lovely wife this year? Is she traveling?
Absolutely. She goes everywhere that I go. She's my
Mhm.
tour manager, so she
Yeah.
helps not only run, the business on the road, but she helps me run my record label, Sagittarius Music. And we're a team, so
Yeah.
we do everything together. And I'm so thankful to have a great partner that's so supportive.
And she truly is a great partner. I can't wait to see her as well. Is there anything else that you would like us to know before you see us at Berks? Anything else that you want to share with us, Eric?
One thing that I've always been passionate about is the younger generation and the youth and going to different schools. And that's something that's always been near and dear to me from day one. Just trying to keep music alive. There's so many budget cuts, and the arts are suffering the most. And, my whole initiative with just making music and trying to do outreaches with the younger audiences just to give them something positive, and giving them music again because they're taking it out of the school. So I still do my On a Mission to Schools campaign where I inspire the youth about following their dreams, playing musical instruments, exposing them to jazz. And that's something that we continue to do throughout the year. And, I'm really excited about more things that we're going to do there.
That's going to be great. Well, we can't wait to have you back at Berks because you are a part of the Berks family. And to have you and to have your wife back, this is just going to be so much fun when we come see you and you come see us. So I can't wait to catch you.
I cannot wait. Berks is one of my favorite jazz festivals. It's something special about this particular festival that brings people from all around the world, so many different cultures. Musically, it taps into every single style and sound, and that's what makes this festival so unique. So I'm always blessed to be a part of the Berks family, and I cannot wait for an incredible weekend of music.
Thank you so much for taking time today. And you just got us charged again. So this is going to be really good. Take care, Eric.
Thanks,
I'll
Diane.
see you. Okay.
We'll see you soon.
You got it.
10 exciting days of concerts, jams, and more. Tickets are on sale now. For the latest artist, venue, and scheduling info, and for tickets, visit BerksJazzFest.com.